following production is brought to you by Derrick Lamon Enterprises, a subsidiary of LBM Entertainment, exclusively licensed for use on Patreon.com. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Patreon.com/The Derrick Lamon Experience, your one-stop shop for your gaming news. Happy Thanksgiving, and also at the same time, happy holidays. Thus kicks off the Thanksgiving season. I'm recording this in advance, but I do hope that you guys had plenty of family, fun, food, and football on your turkey day. I'm getting out ahead of this because I plan on spending time in front of the TV watching football. I'm also going to play video games. Shout out to the PlayStation Portal. Shout out to the Nintendo Switch. Shout out to the 3DS. Hello, I'm going to play video games, but I'm also going to watch a lot of football. So I'm going to go ahead and get ahead of the curve because it's kind of a slow week because people are traveling and things like that, and just get some gaming news off to you. Number one, I want to say this. I do not have this on my agenda, but I do want to announce after the job posting for someone with basic, knowledge of the live service games by Warner Brothers Games, they have come out and said and reiterated that no, Wonder Woman is not a live service game. It is, from my understanding, a single player story-driven narrative. So that's that. So we don't have to worry about that. Number two, I know that there was the artist who said that Wolverine was coming out in 2024. That is false. It is coming in 2025 at the earliest, is what we've been told. So as far as 2024, I mean, we know we're getting The Last of Us Part 2 remastered. It's $10. I'm going to tell you guys right now. I said this when I covered it when the news broke Friday. If it was about $10, I was getting it. I don't care what you guys say. And you're like, oh, well, you're a Sony shill. Let me tell you this, and I don't want to be rude or anything like that because it's the holiday season. I want to tell you this. Number one, understand this. Mind your business. Number two, let people spend their fucking money on whatever they want to spend it on. Number three, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and none of y'all can whoop me. So if you got a problem, you know where to find me. I'm just telling you, though, let people spend their money on what they want to spend it on. I, for one, am going to get The Last of Us Part 2 remastered. I'm hoping there's some new trophies or something like that, but, I'm going to get it because it's $10. It's not that big a deal. Anyway, getting on to this week's topics. Ubisoft Montreal and Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time remake. Quote, we are glad to announce today that the project has passed an important internal milestone and development is progressing. We look forward to sharing more in the future. Probably could have left some. It's just like you didn't share anything. We don't know where it is. If it's in, I would assume it's not in alpha at this point. Hopefully it's in beta. I don't know what's going on with that game. Ubisoft is looking shaky because we know there are other games that are basically vaporware. Looking right at you, Sea of Bones. Looking right at you, Beyond Good and Evil 2. I don't know if either of those games are even going to come out. Now, the funny thing is they still acknowledge that Skull and Bones. I said Sea and Bones. I'm sorry. Skull and Bones. They still acknowledge that it's a thing. They didn't have any gameplay or anything to show at their last Ubisoft trade show or whatever during game season, but they had a little, I guess, barbershop quartet come up there and sing a song like a pirate shanty while I guess that was Skull and Bones gameplay that played in the background on screens. I don't know, but at least they're acknowledging the existence of that game. We haven't heard anything about Beyond Good and Evil 2. And that makes me believe that game, it's not like when they first showed it, it's like, maybe it'll come out on PS4 and Xbox One, and it didn't. And we're like, okay, so it's coming PS5, Xbox Series consoles. And here we are, and it's like, is that game even still a thing? I don't know what's going on with that game, but Ubisoft has shown us a whole lot, and they haven't shown that. I know that much. I can't wait for Star Wars Outlaws. That's coming very soon, but they haven't showed anything of that Beyond Good and Evil 2 game, so I don't know. But it'd be nice to actually know what's going on and what point that Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake is at, but, it is what it is. In other news, two Sony first-party studios are working on new games, Naughty Dog and Sony Santa Monica. Naughty Dog confirmed their new title earlier this year, and it's been rumored for a while to be sci-fi. Sony Santa Monica's new game was confirmed via job postings in the official jobs account for the studio and Cory Barlog himself since he moved on from God of War. It is rumored to be sci-fi based on the possibility it's the sci-fi game that was canceled before God of War 2018. Do we really need two sci-fi games from Sony first-party studios? Because I remember when Days Gone was going to come out, and was it Days Gone? It was something. Sony asked somebody to push their game back to get it away from, I think it was The Last of Us Part 2. There were a lot of zombie, quote unquote, zombie themed games coming. There's clickers in The Last of Us, and bloaters and stuff like that. And then I think, what do they call them? Freakers and Days of Gone. I haven't played that game in like a year. So they're not the same game, but everybody was leaning heavy on that post-apocalyptic zombie-ish type of game, and they wanted to get them the hell away from each other. Um, I don't know if I want two sci-fi games. I really don't. And how deep into sci-fi? Like the picture the guy who tweeted this used basically looked like an offshoot of Starfield or something like that. If they're both sci-fi, they better be goddamn good because I don't know. This should be interesting. This should be interesting. Hopefully the report on one of these is wrong and they're not at all sci-fi. I really hope, but I don't know. We'll see. And then Video Games in Europe has reported PS5 console sales are up 143% year on year. Switch sales are down 20%. Xbox Series sales down 52%. As far as games sold, Assassin's Creed Mirage, number one. Spider-Man 2 is at number two. Roughly 481,000 consoles were sold in the month of October, and it doesn't look like Xbox is doing very well. It sucks because I think that they do have really good consoles. Apparently, the Series S is still outselling the Series X, so people thinking it's like, well, the Series X is for the high-end gamer and stuff like that. You could say that, but a lot of high-end gamers are just going off and building PCs. It still doesn't solve certain dilemmas. Like, if you want to play Sony first-party stuff, you're going to wait at least 2 years. 2 years about is the average time for a Sony first-party game to come to PC. Now, Ratchet and Clank, no, it is 2 years because that came out 21, and then it came to PC this past July. So, yeah, it's about 2 years. It's about 2 years. So you're going to wait a little bit. If you don't mind waiting, then there you go. And basically, Xbox and PC kind of work in tandem, so you're going to get a lot of that stuff day one over there. But to say, oh, the Series X is for a niche gamer and for the elitist gamer and a more high-end gamer, that kind of, like, based on that, then you don't have many of those in the Xbox ecosystem because, again, the Series S is selling at 76% and the Series X is selling at 24%, which is not good when it's supposed to be the flagship console. Speaking of sales, this comes from PSU.com. PS5 outsells Xbox Series X and S by at least 7-1 in many markets, latest figures show. The latest GSD data has revealed that the PS5 is continuing to dominate hardware sales in Europe, again, with the sales we just mentioned up for 143% for October year on year, due to the increased availability of stock. Furthermore, it also appears to be outpacing Microsoft's competing Xbox Series X and S by a considerable margin in select regions. This time last year, the PS5 was still fairly difficult to get a hold of, an issue that plagued the PS5 since its launch in November of 2020. Thank God I did not give up my pre-order. I woke everybody up when the Amazon link went live. I was like, they're live, get them. And of the initial ones, I think me and only Colby were the only ones to keep our pre-orders. The others were like, damn, I want a PS5. You should have kept that pre-order. Sorry, buddy. Should have kept that pre-order. Again, this time last year, the PS5 was still fairly difficult to get a hold of, an issue that plagued the PS5 since its launch in November of 2020 due to the coronavirus pandemic. However, Sony's Jim Ryan revealed earlier this year that stock shortages had come to an end, and indeed this year has seen PS5 sales skyrocket. The Series X and S, meanwhile, appear to be struggling in Europe, with Microsoft's system down 52% in sales compared to the same period last year. Furthermore, it appears that Sony's console is outselling its main rival by as much as 7-1 in many markets. October 2023 saw a total of 481,000 consoles sold across tracked markets in Europe, which we just said. PS5 sales up 11% over September. Sony launched a new version of the PS5 this month in shape of the colloquially dubbed PS5 Slim, which comes in digital and disc models. Although with the latter, users will be able to purchase and attach a Blu-ray HD drive. Microsoft actually has games now, so I don't know why they're suffering the way they do. or did in the previous generations as well. My cousin Sterl, he has been a lifelong Xbox guy. Like he never was a PlayStation guy. Like his brothers had a PS2. He's like, no, I'm an Xbox dude. He bought a Series S, and then my godson, his son, just kept swiping it to play games, and then he finally said, "Fuck it," and he bought himself a PS5, and now he's part of this ecosystem. I don't know if he's gonna go back to Xbox or not because he's playing Call of Duty. Once he buys a 2K game, he's locked in. So he has 2K for his PS5. So I'm thinking, I don't know if he's gonna return to the Xbox ecosystem. I think you guys just lost one. And not to say you guys. I play on each system because I would not lock myself into one ecosystem and miss out on the opportunity to play other games. That's just the way it is. Generally, third party games, annual titles, 2K, Madden, generally Call of Duty. We don't know what's going to happen with that. But generally, those are at the, NPD sales charts. But a console seller is an exclusive, right? You can't play Super Mario or Legend of Zelda anywhere but a Nintendo. So you need a Nintendo console. Oh, there's a new Zelda game out. Do you have the latest Nintendo console? No. Well, then you better get it or else you can't play this game. Well, hey, there's Halo and Gears. Unfortunately, they've split themselves because you can play those on PC. New Last of Us game, whatever. You need the new PlayStation console. Exclusives are console sellers, period. And I don't know why people want to act like they're not. Like, let's be fucking real. These exist for a certain reason. So, I mean, here we are. No biggie. But yeah, it's a lot of people thought that Microsoft obtaining or acquiring Bethesda and Activision, Blizzard, and King would boost the console sales. But Phil Spencer said it. He's like, this is not going to get people to put down their PlayStation 5s or sell them and buy Xbox consoles. They were just attempting to get IP. Now going forward with all those studios, it can help them out, but Microsoft is a publisher. They're a publisher at this point. Like, make no mistake about it. They like all the content, all the assets they have, that makes them a publisher. Let's just be real. So I don't know. We'll see how this plays out for them, but I don't think that they understand. But you know what? It's not even a thing about understanding. They've made it very clear that they don't care about console sales numbers. But at the same time, it's like every generation you come out and you're like, we have the most powerful console in the market. That means nothing because you're still getting outsold by a very wide margin. And also, Nintendo traditionally always has the least powerful console in the market, and they still sell like gangbusters. Everybody loves their Switch. So you kind of have to start looking at things like all the money they're spending on R&D to have the quote-unquote most powerful console, and it's still not helping them out. I don't know. We'll see. In other news, like I said at the top of the show, Insomniac's Wolverine will not release until 2025. It's been clarified. Marvel's Wolverine game from Insomniac won't release until 2025. At least that's what a new report claims. According to known leaker Daniel Rickman, not only will the upcoming game not be released in 2024, but it will also feature a darker and more violent tone than past games from the studio. As far as location goes, it's set to be set in Madripoor, Southeast Asian city within the Marvel Universe. The city has been long known as a haven for pirates after being built upon the back of a dragon. Its proximity to the most important Asian ports makes it a largely lawless haven for smugglers, secret societies, warlords, constantly vying for control. While a release date hasn't been confirmed by Insomniac or Sony, one thing that is known is that Wolverine is in the same universe as Spider-Man games from the studio. When it does launch, Wolverine will be a PlayStation 5 exclusive, similar to the aforementioned Spider-Man title. It doesn't need to come out in 2024. There are games coming. Now, are there games coming from Sony first-party studios? We don't know. The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered is coming. We know that, but no new games. Okay. Let them take their time. Insomniac has been carrying the PlayStation 5 on their backs since they came on board. Let them take their time. I'm perfectly fine with this. It doesn't bother me at all. Um, and the game, they're going for a darker tone. There's not going to be any joking or anything like you. I expect to hear fuck quite often in this game. Fuck, shit, bitch, whatever. I expect to see hear a lot of profanity and see a lot of blood and guts and gore and people getting sliced from asshole to appetite. So take your time with it because that's not something Insomniac has done as of yet. So take your time. That's all I'm saying. Speaking of Marvel Spider-Man 2, it enjoys huge launch in Europe, easily topping the first game and Miles Morales. Marvel Spider-Man 2 was a smash hit for Sony and PlayStation when it launched last month in Europe. Fresh sales data shows that the PS5 exclusive came third in overall software sales rankings, but was only beaten by EA Sports FC, which in Europe is a huge surprise. It's not a big surprise. It's soccer, but it's football around the rest of the world. It is, the sport. And Assassin's Creed Mirage, both of which were on sale for up to 3 weeks longer than Spidey's sequel. The most interesting stats come from comparing Spider-Man 2 to its predecessors. It saw increased launch sales, nearly 30% over the original Marvel Spider-Man. It was also close to selling 3 times better than Miles Morales, which is impressive when you consider that both games released well into the all-conquering PS4's life cycle, with Miles Morales being a cross-gen title. Remember, that's another thing. Miles Morales was available on both PS4 and PS5. So with 116, 20 million or whatever PS4s in the wild, it had a chance to be on multiple consoles and have higher sales. Spider-Man 2 is still beating it. Meanwhile, when compared directly to God of War Ragnarok, Sony's similar time blockbuster from last year, Spider-Man 2 sold 28% fewer copies over its first 2 weeks. However, we need to remember that Ragnarok was a cross-gen release as well. If we're talking PS5 only, Spidey actually trended above Kratos' adventure by 8%. Now, Marvel Spider-Man 2 was always going to be a blockbuster, but we imagine Sony will be mighty pleased with the way it's swinging ahead of previous games. This is going to get a part 3. We already know this. The ending, the mid-credit scene, post-credit scene, all that stuff, we know. The Carnage stuff, we know. This is going to be really fucking good. I just actually spoiled something. I was about to say something else and I caught myself because I don't want to, people haven't played the game yet. One thing is out there. Hopefully if you caught it, you caught it. If you didn't, keep going. Keep going. This game was definitely darker. Like they said, think of this as our Empire Strikes Back. You definitely feel that. There's obviously going to be a third game, and looks like it's going to be really, really dope, and I cannot wait for that. But again, congrats to them. The game is doing very well. The game is doing very, very well, and people are really seeming to enjoy it. Some people who are not huge Sony fans are like, Spider-Man 2 is the best game that I've played in the Spider-Man franchise, and that's a very big compliment. People used to love those Activision ones and stuff like that. Anyway, that's all I had for you guys. Again, slow week. People are traveling for the holiday, this, that, and the third. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you have your Christmas trees up or at least ready to go up. And I hope you guys enjoyed the longer weekend. I'm going to end this like I end every other episode of the podcast. Believe in yourself first and foremost, because if you don't believe in yourself, then nobody will believe in you. As always, my name is Derrick Lamon Jackson, and that is my time. You guys have a good one. Peace out.